Cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of...
G'day and welcome back to the channel, Ginger Ninja's Movie Reviews. I am the Ginger Ninja and these are my movie reviews. Now if you're new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. If you wouldn't mind, please do consider giving this video a thumbs up and of course subscribing to my channel would definitely be appreciated. But you're probably wondering what it is we're doing here today. Well, it's Friday and every Friday I look at a film in a franchise. We are looking at Hellraiser, and we're up to the very final in the original Hellraiser series, Hellraiser Judgement. We're excluding the remake out of this, we're just going the originals. So here we are, the very final one. But before we get into that, I do want to say a big thank you to all my returning viewers. I know I was supposed to have this one out a couple of weeks back. I apologize. Unfortunately, I was unwell. Hopefully, I'll be back. Still recovering, but hopefully we'll be back on and getting these ones out there, and we'll be doing another franchise very soon, and hopefully that one will be a bit better than this one. Yeah, so anyway, let's get into it because I've got a lot to say about this one. Strap yourselves in. So, Hellraiser Judgement came out in 2018. It was directed by Garyjtunnicliffe. The film stars Damon Carney, Randy Wayne, Alexander Harris, Paul T. Taylor as Pinhead, and Gary J. Tunnicliffe as the Auditor. Plus, we also get a surprise cameo from none other than Heather Langenkamp. That's right, Nancy Thompson from Nightmare on Elm Street is in this. It's a quick blink and you'll miss it cameo, but it actually got me thinking as to why they never put these two demonic worlds together. You know, I know that we had Freddy versus Jason, but shit, Freddy versus Pinhead, that would have been dope. That would have been kick-ass. Plus, just to see Heather Langenkamp and Ashley Lawrence on screen together at the same time, whew, that would have been kick-ass. That would have been now. Before anyone steals my idea, Hollywood, you've got my number. Let me know. Anyway, back to the movie. So, this is a plot direct from IMDb. Detectives Sean and David are on the case to find a gruesome serial killer terrorizing the city. Joining forces with Detective Christine Egerton, they dig deeper into a spiraling maze of horror that may or may not be of this world. Yeah. Now, if that does sound familiar, you're probably thinking of Hellraiser Inferno. I was too, and I think there is a reason for that, and I'll touch on that in the directing and the writing, so stick around for that. Anyway, Hellraiser Judgement, this is it. This is the end of the Hellraiser franchise. Like, wow. What a way to end on. Yeah, look, going into the franchise, I knew that the law of diminishing returns would come into effect. You know, it just does. But let's be honest, we've had some surprisingly good moments out of these sequels. They may not have been great overall films, but there were some good moments in there. There were some solid moments, some good takeaways, really. I mean, you look at Hellworld, look at the cast that had. You had a very young Henry Cavill, you know, Kerry Payton. You know, you look at Inferno, you know, Scott Derrickson directing Inferno, and I won't delve too much in that one. But, you know, aside from the first three, which are highly regarded as the best, the sequels after that did have some pretty decent moments. We had some fantastic physical effects in Revelations. You know, we may have had the worst Pinhead we've ever had in Revelations too, but we had some great effects. Anyway, so is this one as bad as people say? Well, the easy answer is yes. But like I said, we do get some good moments out of every one of these films. And I mean, this is not the Hellraiser we know and love. But any franchise has to evolve in order to stay relevant, fresh, and engaging. And to do this, it can be quite divisive among fans. This film is not so much divisive, but hated, derived. Yeah. But look, when you attempt to reinvigorate a franchise, one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to succeed or it's going to fail miserably. Unfortunately, this falls into the latter. Let's find out why. Alright, so let's have a look at the cast. And Paul T. Taylor's portrayal of Pinhead is a standout. He brings a new yet familiar menace to the iconic character. And he maintains this dark charisma that Doug Bradley originally established. And look, you're going to compare anyone who plays Pinhead is going to get, compared to Doug Bradley's original iconic portrayal. It's inevitable. But what Taylor brings is his own sinister flair to the role, but whilst he makes it his own, he honours the legacy of the character, which is something that the previous Pinhead failed to do. They had two actors portraying the one role. They had a vocal actor and a physical actor, and it just felt wrong. It didn't feel like Pinhead. I don't know how else to describe it. At least this one, the look is there. The feel is there as well. It's not the greatest movie for the Pinhead character, but it is what it is. Garyjtunnicliffe's portrayal of the Auditor is also a highlight, but for the wrong reasons. He does an okay job some of the time, but others he comes off as creepy, and not in a good or Hellraiser way. It's the way he moves into a room and he looks around corners, and this was the same issue that I had with Pinhead from Revelations. The way he would lean into the camera like he was listening to something in another room. It just didn't suit the character. Granted, the Auditor is a new character, so we don't really know how he's supposed to, but the way he came across felt really awkward. Yeah, probably the best way to describe it is his acting style felt like a pantomime. It was exaggerated. It was more like you would expect in a sitcom. The main cast, being Damon Carney, Randy Wayne, and Alexandra Harris, they deliver competent and well-rounded performances, but they're hampered by lack of character depth, which comes down to the writing. Now onto the directing and the writing. And look, Garyjtunnicliffe's direction is a mixed bag. On one hand, he delivers an intriguing story with the Preceptor, and he introduces new elements into the Hellraiser universe and lore, such as Jophiel and the Auditor, and his knowledge and genuine love of the Hellraiser universe is evident. But on the other hand, the pacing of the film is very uneven. The first act is engaging and sets up an intriguing mystery. The Preceptor, the Auditor, all of that all work really well and they get you invested. But then the middle portion just drags and feels bogged down by a repetitive story and, just blahness. The final act attempts to tie all these narrative threads together, but it does so in a rather confusing and rushed manner. Now, there is one scene in this which stood out to me because it seemed rather forced or shoehorned in, and that was 3 naked ladies getting blood gushed on their chests. in what seemed to be some sort of fantasy fulfillment of some variety. Now look, Hellraiser has never been about gratuitous nudity. There have been elements of sex, BDSM and whatnot in it, obviously. But it's never been about gratuitous nudity or nudity for just throwing some tits up on the screen. So yeah, this felt out of place. Not that I was complaining, of course, but still. Now, overall, and I touched on this earlier, this felt like a darker version of Hellraiser Inferno, which kind of made sense to me, given that Tunnicliffe is a huge fan of Doctor Strange. Now, Scott Derrickson directed Doctor Strange. Scott Derrickson also began his career with Hellraiser Inferno. So, is this Gary J. Tunnicliffe's, homage to Inferno? Well, I guess we'll never know, but it would make sense. And it does have that feel to it with that detective story, the police story, investigating a murder. That was all done in Inferno. This just feels like a bit of a darker and sort of a more updated version of it. Now onto the effects, and as with any Hellraiser film, we are here for the effects. Now, Revelations did have some decent effects, so how does this one stack up? Well, the film overall leans heavily into a very grim, grotesque aesthetic, and it fits well into the franchise's established tone. The scenes in the house, I can't remember the address, but it's the main house they go to. It's got a very dirty, rundown, decrepit feel. The practical effects and makeup work are commendable, especially cenobites, who are disturbing and inventive as ever. And these are somewhat different to ones that we've seen in the past. The auditor being one, the assessor being another. There's just some very interesting thought put behind them. However, where the film fails is its use of CGI effects. It just falls short, and this could be due to budgetary constraints. It's 2018, so we should be expecting some decent CGI. Unfortunately, this just detracts from the overall impact of the special effects. Now, rewatchability. Will I rewatch this one? Probably not. Which is a shame, as this film had a lot of potential. As mentioned, the introduction of Jophiel, or Heaven and Angels, the discussion at the start between Pinhead and the Auditor on how to adapt their methods in harvesting souls. In the face of advancing human technology and it's making the Lamont configuration obsolete, this all had potential, and it's part of what I mean by reinvigorating or putting new elements into a franchise. They can either work or fail. Unfortunately, this was too little, too late, and this left the film feeling flat, lifeless, and just plain dull. So, final verdict. This is another Hellraiser that was greenlit into production because Dimension Films was about to lose the rights to the Hellraiser franchise. And it shows. I feel to make a good Hellraiser film, there are a few things you need to do. Firstly, you don't adapt a previous screenplay into a Hellraiser film. We've seen it before, it doesn't mesh well together. A Hellraiser film needs to be a Hellraiser film. Now, you can have a good, somewhat decent movie, but rushing it into production and it's a slap bang job. It doesn't work. Anyway, overall, for a score, Hellraiser Judgement gets a 3.5 out of 10. There you have it. We're done. Hellraiser, done. Look, thank you very much for putting up with me as we got through this franchise. I know I tried my best to find some good out of each one, and I think I did find the good elements out of each one, but they were tough. They were tough, especially this last one. It was just not enjoyable. Like, let's be honest, it wasn't. Anyway, I will be back with another franchise very soon. I will pop a post up on my community page on my channel, just sort of going through what I am looking at doing. Probably a vote or something. So, vote for which franchise you wanted to see. I was supposed to be doing Argento August. I am still going to do a couple of Argento films. So, Franchise Friday, Trashy Tuesdays will be on hold. September, they will be back for 4 weeks only. Now, there is a reason for that, and that is because October, I will be doing the 31 Days of Halloween again. That'll be the third year in a row, 31 days of horror movies, 60-second reviews up every day for all of the month. So yeah, that's going to be freaking exhausting, to be honest. But, I'll get through it. And then we'll see what happens in November. I've got things planned. And then December, I'll probably try and find some, really trashy Christmas horror and do that. I may even dress up as Santa Claus. Who knows? Who knows? Anything can happen. But look, before I ramble on too much, thank you very much for watching. If you've stuck around this far, please do give this video a thumbs up. Be much appreciated. And if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I do release a new review. Like I said, Trashy Tuesdays, Franchise Fridays, Argento August, 60-second reviews, 31 days of Halloween. It's all happening. So, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.